Archangel Michael says, your abundance shift has begun. Open this for alignment. Archangel Michael says, I need you to hear this now. This message is about money and restoration. My child, listen closely, my beloved child, for a gentle stirring is already rising within you. Something sacred has been trying to reach you, long before you even knew to look for it. You felt flashes of it in restless moments, when your heart whispered that more was possible even as your mind doubted. Yet the very longing that once stirred confusion is becoming the signal that you are ready to receive. Stay with me now, for what comes next is not loud or forceful but steady, bright, and deeply aligned with your spirit. I speak to you with the calm authority of heaven, not to startle you but to steady you. There is an abundance key prepared for you, shaped through moments you misunderstood as detours or delays. It comes not as a demand or a test, but as a gentle unveiling of what has been waiting beneath the noise. You have searched outward, hoping for signs, answers, or sudden breakthroughs to calm the unrest within your chest. But hear this truth. The shift begins when you let yourself rest in the knowing that nothing meant for you has passed you by. The divine has been arranging pieces around you with more care than you realize, guiding you away from what would drain you and toward what will sustain you. Even the silence you feared was abandonment was often protection wrapped in quiet light. Now a new whisper rises, not to rush you but to open you. Feel the difference between the restless searching that once pushed you forward and the peaceful knowing that now draws you inward. One exhausts, the other steadies. One makes you grasp, the other helps you receive. You are being guided into the second rhythm now, the gentler one, the truer one. As you listen, notice the soft warmth gathering at the center of your chest, as if something luminous is preparing to emerge. This is how the abundance key makes itself known, not with thunder but with tenderness. You may sense a quiet certainty forming, a calm that feels both new and strangely familiar. Trust that feeling, for it is the doorway opening. You are not being rushed, you are being invited. Let this awareness settle gently upon you, for the moment you recognize it, you begin to align with what has been prepared. And as this quiet alignment unfolds, something within you will sense exactly where the path is leading next. You may even feel a subtle brightness around you, like the atmosphere shifting in recognition of your awakening readiness. This is not imagination but resonance, the echo of something true meeting the deepest place in your spirit. Allow this resonance to rise without forcing meaning, for clarity grows best in a heart that is unguarded and willing. Even now, unseen support gathers around you, arranging circumstances that will make the next step feel unmistakably guided. When this guidance reaches you fully, it will not create tension but release it, offering a peace that feels quietly authoritative. In that peace you will recognize the nearness of your abundance key, as though it has stepped forward to meet you. Hold yourself gently as this awareness unfolds, for softness is the doorway where blessings enter now. Let this moment meet you gently, my dear one, for nothing asks to be solved right now. You have carried so many thoughts, questions, and unfinished conversations inside your mind, and they have been swirling like leaves caught in a restless wind. But there is a place within you that remains untouched by that noise, a place where clarity waits with patience and kindness. Stay with me as we open that space together, slowly, softly, without effort. Take one easy breath in, not to perform but simply to arrive. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Feel your ribs expand as if your spirit is being given more room. And as you exhale, imagine the familiar tension draining from your jaw, your shoulders, the tightness around your heart. Let the breath guide your awareness from the scattered edges of your mind back into the warm center of your chest. With each inhale, you are gathering your scattered pieces. With each exhale, you are returning home to yourself. Notice how the mind tries to rush ahead, bringing old concerns, unfinished tasks, or imagined futures. Let them drift by like distant clouds. They are not needed here. What matters is this soft, steady rhythm rising inside you. Breathe in again, deeper if you can, and allow your body to loosen just a little more. Feel the warmth spreading gently across your chest, as if a quiet light is settling there, reassuring you that you do not have to hold everything alone. Feel your jaw releasing, feel the tiny muscles around your eyes softening, feel the grounded weight of your body supported beneath you. This is how presence begins, not in perfection, but in willingness. If a thought pulls your attention away, simply notice it and return to the breath. You are not doing this wrong. You are arriving. And as you arrive, something within you begins to shift from the frantic current of mental noise to the calm river of inner stillness. Listen to that stillness now. It is subtle, yet steady. It is the doorway through which divine guidance becomes clear. Stay with me for one more breath, slow and unforced. Inhale the sense of being held. Exhale the belief that you must figure everything out alone. Let this quiet fill the spaces that fear once occupied. Let your breath remind you that peace is not distant, it is already blooming within you. And as this stillness deepens, your heart becomes prepared to receive what has been waiting to meet you with gentle certainty. There is a kind of heaviness that grows in the quiet places of your life, my dear one, the weight you feel when you look at your bills, your responsibilities, or the dreams you've had to postpone. You rarely speak of it out loud, yet it sits beneath your ribs like a quiet ache, reminding you of every moment you felt unprepared or unsupported. You have learned to push through, to smile when you are tired, to hold yourself together even when the numbers don't. And still, there are nights when you lie awake wondering if you missed a sign or took a wrong turn, fearing that the abundance others talk about somehow passed you by. I want you to know that this fear does not make you weak. It makes you human, and it shows how deeply you desire stability, dignity, and room to breathe. There is an exhaustion that comes from constantly trying to stretch what you have, from adjusting, sacrificing, and reshaping your plans to make everything work. You may feel embarrassed at times, as though you should be further along or more in control. But hear me gently. Nothing about your journey disqualifies you. Nothing about your timeline makes you lesser. There are seasons when money feels delayed not because you are failing but because something within you is being prepared for a different kind of provision. You have been taught to associate delay with lack, yet heaven often uses delay as a soft shield, redirecting you away from situations that would drain your spirit or entangle you in obligations not meant for you. Feel the contrast within you now, the scarcity panic that rises quickly, tightening your breath, and the quiet divine provision that unfolds slowly, almost imperceptibly, behind the scenes. Panic demands instant answers. Provision builds foundations. Panic says you are alone. Provision whispers that help is already on the way, even if your eyes cannot yet see the evidence. You have lived many days caught between these two voices, unsure which one deserves your trust. Today, let the gentler one speak a little louder. You may think back on moments when money slipped through your fingers faster than it came in, when unexpected expenses knocked the breath out of you, when opportunities dissolved before you could grasp them. Each of those moments left tiny bruises on your confidence. You learned to brace yourself for disappointment, even when you hoped for better. But beloved, those bruises do not tell the whole story. Some doors closed because they would have trapped you. Some resources dried up because they were too small for the life being shaped for you. Some delays protected your heart, your energy, and your future alignment. You are not behind. You are being readied. And though you cannot yet see the quiet choreography unfolding around your finances, something within you already senses that the ground is shifting. The heaviness you carry is not a prophecy of defeat. It is the sign of someone standing on the edge of an unseen opening, where what once felt withheld will begin to flow in ways that match your true worth. My dear one, there are moments in your life when the very thing you thought was being kept from you was actually being kept for you. You have stared at closed doors and felt the sting of disappointment, believing something had slipped beyond your reach. Yet those blocked paths were often gentle shields, turning you away from circumstances that would have drained your spirit or limited your future. What felt like delay was a quiet act of protection. You were never being denied, you were being guided with a precision you could not yet see. Think of the opportunities that dissolved at the last moment, the partnerships that never formed, the offers that looked promising but collapsed before they could root. You may have wondered if something was wrong with you, yet heaven was redirecting you away from burdens you were never meant to carry. Each delay was a turning of the wheel, aligning you with environments where your gifts could breathe and expand. I know you longed for immediate answers, but immediacy does not always equal blessing. Some things require time because your spirit needs space to strengthen before carrying the increase destined for you. If certain doors had opened earlier, they might have trapped you in commitments that dimmed your joy. But the divine waited for the moment when you could walk forward with clarity rather than fear. Imagine looking back months from now and seeing how every delay formed a precise pattern, one that protected your energy and positioned your steps. You will realize nothing was wasted, not even the waiting. What you called stagnation was often seed time, where unseen roots were forming beneath the surface of your life. There were blessings being prepared that required you to be anchored, not rushing from place to place trying to salvage what wasn't meant to stay. And though the delay felt painful, it was shaping you into someone capable of carrying abundance without fear of losing it. You are growing into a steadier version of yourself, one who can recognize true opportunity rather than cling to illusions of security. There will come a day when you look back at the very moments that once discouraged you and feel only gratitude for the divine choreography behind them. You will see how each pause placed you in the right room, with the right clarity, at the right time. And in that realization, peace will rise within you like morning light spreading across a quiet landscape. For what once felt withheld will reveal itself as perfectly timed guidance, waiting for the moment your heart was ready to hold it. Walk gently now, knowing nothing meant for you has ever been lost, only safeguarded until your spirit could recognize its worth. And as this truth settles into you, Feel the quiet strength that comes from realizing you have never been abandoned in your waiting, but lovingly guided through every unseen turn toward what will truly sustain you. Let this assurance steady you. There are moments when heaven speaks in ways so subtle you nearly overlook them, my dear one. You call them coincidences, but something inside you pauses every time they appear, as if a quiet hand is turning your attention toward a deeper rhythm. Archangel Michael often works this way, not by overwhelming your senses, but by placing gentle markers along your path that whisper, "You are aligned. Keep going." These markers come as numbers repeated at just the right moment, feathers appearing where none should be, dreams that linger with unusual clarity, or songs that arrive with messages too precise to ignore. And though part of you wonders if you're imagining it, another part knows you're being guided. When you glimpse 1111 on a clock or receive 555 in a receipt total, it may feel random at first. Yet notice how it usually arrives when your mind is wrestling with doubt or your heart is asking for reassurance. These patterns do not chase you, they meet you in your longing. That is the difference between randomness and divine confirmation. Randomness passes without resonance. Guidance creates a stirring, a small spark of recognition that warms your chest and steadies your breath. There may be days when you find a feather in an unexpected place, delicately resting on your path as if placed there with intention. Or you might wake from a dream that feels more like a visitation than a story your mind invented. These are not accidents. These are threads of alignment, woven into your awareness to remind you that you are not walking alone. And listen closely, there is a sign already forming for you, one that will come in your next quiet moment when your mind is softened enough to perceive it. It may be a word someone speaks, a sudden knowing that settles into your body, or a moment of clarity that arrives so gently it feels like a whisper brushing your spirit. Do not rush to decode it. Simply allow it to land. When you hear a song that carries a message about new beginnings or provision, pay attention to the way your body responds. Guidance often speaks first through sensation, then through thought. A calmness may wash over you, or a soft chill may rise across your arms. This is how Michael nudges you, not with force, but with resonance. The more you soften into awareness, the clearer these signs become. They are not trying to convince you, they are affirming what your soul already knows. Think of every number sequence, every dream, every unexpected symbol as a note in a larger melody playing just beneath the surface of your life. When you step into stillness, even for a breath, that melody becomes easier to hear. And in that gentle listening, you begin to understand that your abundance key is not something you must chase. It is something you recognize when the atmosphere around you shifts. A sign will meet you soon, in a moment when your heart feels unusually open, and you will know it not by logic but by peace rising softly within you. Before you move forward, my dear one, pause and feel how your body responds to what you call guidance. Not every inner voice carries the same intention, and not every tug on your emotions comes from a place of truth. Some impulses rush in with sharp urgency, pushing you toward quick decisions that leave you unsettled. Others arrive like a warm breeze, steady and spacious, giving you time to breathe before you move. This contrast is not subtle. Panic tightens your chest, while real direction softens it. Discernment begins when you listen not only to the words you hear inside but also to the sensations that rise with them. Anxiety speaks in demands, insisting something must happen immediately or else you will miss your chance. But true guidance, especially the kind Archangel Michael offers, never manipulates your fear. It never rushes you, never corners you, never whispers that you are running out of time. Instead, it gives you room, inviting clarity to bloom at its own pace. Peace-based direction expands your breath, fear-based direction steals it. There may be moments when you feel torn between two inner poles, one sharp and one gentle. When this happens, lean toward the voice that allows you to pause. Real guidance does not collapse your choices, it widens them. It reminds you that your autonomy is sacred, that every step you take must honor your well-being. Anything that pressures you into action through dread or guilt is not from the divine. True guidance protects your agency, ensuring you move because it feels right, not because you are afraid of getting it wrong. You may notice, too, that peace speaks in consistent tones, while anxiety shifts shape to keep you unsettled. Peace does not contradict itself. It does not offer one message today and a frightening one tomorrow. Peace reinforces stability within you, even when the next step is small. And though fear may imitate urgency, it cannot create the grounded warmth that true guidance carries. When Archangel Michael nudges you, the message lands with a feeling of safety, as though something inside you is gently exhaling for the first time in days. So let yourself lean into the direction that brings steadiness rather than strain. If a choice leaves your stomach tight and your breath shallow, do not move yet. Wait for the guidance that settles your spirit and clears your mind. You will know it by the way it honors your boundaries, your dignity, and your timing. And as you practice this discernment, you will find yourself moving with more confidence, trusting the voice that leads you without fear. For the path meant for you will always open through peace, never pressure. Now, there are moments, my dear one, when your mind tries so hard to understand the path that it forgets the wisdom already living in your body. Overthinking tightens the space where guidance wants to land, but gentle practices can soften that space again, helping you shift from mental effort into embodied receptivity. Think of these micro-practices not as tasks to perfect but as small doorways you can step through at any time, even in the midst of a busy day. They invite you to pause long enough for alignment to catch up with you, long enough for the abundance key preparing itself to settle into your awareness. Stay with me as we open these doorways one by one. Begin with a breath prayer, something simple enough to repeat without strain. Inhale and let your breath say, "Here I am." Exhale and let it say, "I am open." Allow this rhythm to move through you like a soft tide, washing away the thoughts that crowd your inner landscape. You do not need to push for clarity, you simply make room for it. With each breath you create a little more space, and in that space the whispers of guidance grow louder. Breathe and release. Breathe and open. Breathe and receive. Feel how these words shape the body, not just the mind. Release loosens the shoulders. Open lifts the chest. Receive settles the belly. This is how abundance prepares a home within you, through small physical shifts that invite spiritual alignment. Another practice is a quiet gratitude note, written not to list accomplishments but to acknowledge the gentle provisions that already surround you. Gratitude is not denial of struggle, it is a tuning fork that helps you recognize what is supporting you even in the waiting. Write down one thing each day that brought you relief or comfort, no matter how small: a warm cup, a kind glance, a moment of rest. These notes teach your heart to notice abundance in miniature, which prepares you to receive it in greater measure. If writing feels hard, offer 2 minutes of stillness instead. Sit with your feet grounded, hands resting softly on your lap, and let your awareness settle into your body. Notice the subtle warmth in your chest. Notice the weight of your breath. Notice how your thoughts begin to slow as your attention deepens. In this stillness, you are not trying to manifest, fix, or force anything. You are simply returning to the part of you that already knows you are provided for. Overthinking pulls you outward, chasing possibilities. Embodied receptivity draws you inward, where guidance takes shape. These practices are not magic spells, they are alignment tools. They steady your spirit so you can recognize the moment the abundance key arrives, the moment peace reveals the next step. Allow these gentle rituals to weave into your days, opening your heart to what is quietly making its way toward you even now. There comes a moment, my dear one, when something within you changes before anything outside of you does. It arrives so quietly that you might miss it if you are looking only for dramatic signs or sudden breakthroughs. Yet this inner shift is the true beginning of your financial restoration, the first gentle movement of alignment settling into place. You may expect excitement or a surge of energy, but the earliest indicator is often peace, soft and steady, like a light resting over your heart. This peace does not shout. It unfurls. It loosens the tension you have carried for far too long and allows your breath to deepen without effort. You will notice that the worries you used to entertain so quickly no longer grip you in the same way. They drift through your mind like visitors rather than intruders. This is the first sign the shift has begun. Feel the contrast now. Striving chaos pulls your focus outward, urging you to fix, push, and chase solutions as though everything depends on constant movement. Aligned ease draws your awareness inward, giving you permission to pause and listen. In that pause you sense a clarity rising, not loud but unmistakable. It feels like your spirit saying, "You are on the right path." Soon you may find yourself making decisions that used to overwhelm you, but now they feel surprisingly simple. You do not agonize over them. You do not spiral into what-ifs. You choose with a calm that seems borrowed from something wiser than your thoughts. This calm is the evidence of guidance moving through you. There may also be a moment when the atmosphere around you feels subtly different, as if something invisible has clicked into place. You might notice a widened spaciousness in your chest or a gentle warmth along your shoulders. These sensations are not random. They signal that your spirit is stepping into deeper alignment with the abundance already forming around you. And listen closely. Before the external shift becomes visible, you will experience a quiet inner knowing that something good is approaching. Not a fantasy, not a forced affirmation, but a grounded certainty that feels planted rather than imagined. This knowing will steady you even when circumstances seem unchanged. Let this anticipation remain soft, not pressured. The peace that precedes provision never demands urgency. It simply invites readiness. A moment is coming when you will look back and realize the shift began long before the blessing arrived. You felt it first in your body, then in your thoughts, then in the ease that replaced your old struggle. And when the outer breakthrough finally appears, you will recognize it instantly, because your heart prepared you to receive it long before your eyes could see it. There was a woman, my dear one, who carried a quiet heaviness much like your own. For months she had felt as though every effort fell flat, every plan dissolved, and every unexpected bill arrived at the worst possible moment. She moved through her days with a practiced smile, but inside she felt the slow drip of hopelessness wearing down her courage. Still, something in her spirit kept whispering that things would not always be this way, though she could not explain why. One morning, after another restless night, she stepped outside simply to breathe. The air was cool, the sky washed in a soft gray, and even that small stillness felt like a gentle invitation. As she walked, she noticed a white feather resting near her front steps, delicate and perfectly placed. She almost ignored it, thinking it was nothing, but a warmth stirred in her chest. It felt like recognition, like a reminder that she was not as alone as she feared. She picked it up without knowing why. That same afternoon she heard a song she had loved years ago, one she had forgotten entirely. The lyrics spoke of unexpected provision and quiet turning points. As the melody wrapped around her, her breath settled, and something inside her softened. She felt, for the first time in a long while, a sense of being held. Nothing outward had changed yet, but the inward shift was unmistakable. Over the next few days she found herself moving differently. She made one small decision that brought clarity to her finances. She reached out for a conversation she had been avoiding and discovered understanding instead of rejection. She noticed repeating numbers, 1111 on the clock, 555 on a receipt, and each time, a gentle steadiness spread across her body. These were not dramatic signs. They were quiet confirmations that she was being guided toward restoration rather than pushed deeper into struggle. Then, almost without effort, an opportunity appeared. Not a windfall, not a miracle wrapped in bright lights, but a simple, honest opening that eased her burden. It arrived through someone who respected her, someone who saw her value clearly. When she accepted it, her chest filled with the same warmth she had felt when she found the feather. It was the sensation of alignment clicking softly into place. Looking back, she realized the moment everything had begun to turn was not when the opportunity arrived, but when her heart first opened to stillness and recognized the signs placed gently around her. Her story is not a promise of identical outcomes, but a reminder that hopelessness is never the final chapter. Quiet restoration often begins in ways so tender you only understand their meaning once peace has already taken root within you. In the days ahead, my dear one, your task is not to force change but to open to it with gentle intention. Each moment offers a chance to shift from aimless waiting into aligned participation, where your choices and your inner guidance begin to move in quiet harmony. Think of this time as a soft unfolding rather than a race, a period where you anchor peace by returning to yourself again and again. Begin each morning with a simple reflection: what is one feeling I want to carry today? Let the answer rise naturally, without pressure. When you choose a feeling rather than a task, you guide your day from the inside out. This practice steadies your spirit and reminds you that alignment begins with your inner landscape, not external events. At some point during the day, take one small action that brings clarity or order to your world. It can be answering a message you have avoided, organizing a corner of your space, or reviewing a responsibility with fresh eyes. These small actions do not summon abundance directly, but they signal readiness. They show that you are partnering with the guidance unfolding around you rather than waiting passively for something to arrive. Alongside these actions, create a few quiet minutes to listen for inner nudges. Stillness does not require absolute silence. It simply asks for a moment when you are not performing for anyone. Place a hand over your chest, breathe slowly, and notice what thoughts rise without force. If a whisper feels warm or grounding, follow it gently. If it feels tight or frantic, set it aside. This is how you cultivate discernment and protect your energy. In the evening, return to reflection. Ask yourself, where did I feel peace today? Where did I resist it? You are not judging your progress, you are learning your rhythm. Peace blooms when attention wraps softly around your experiences rather than demanding perfection. As you notice patterns, you will begin to understand how alignment speaks uniquely to you. Carry gratitude like a small lantern through these days. Note what supported you, what surprised you, what softened your heart. Gratitude is not a requirement but a doorway, helping you perceive the subtle blessings already present. With each intentional step, you shift from longing into participation, from uncertainty into grounded clarity. You are not waiting for life to happen to you, you are meeting your unfolding with open hands and a steady heart. And as you move this way, the path ahead becomes clearer, inviting you into the provision already forming around you. Let this rhythm guide you toward deeper trust and steady unfolding. There comes a moment, my dear one, when you can finally look at yourself with gentler eyes and recognize how far you have come. Before the shift, you carried confusion like a fog that wrapped itself around every decision, making even simple choices feel heavy. You questioned your worth, your timing, and your place in the world. Fear whispered that you were falling behind, that others had found something you had somehow missed. You reached outward, grasping for certainty, hoping something external would quiet the noise moving through your heart. Yet even then, something inside you kept searching for a truth that felt steady rather than sharp. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, that truth began to rise. After receiving the abundance key, not as a single moment, but as a series of soft unveilings, you began to notice the clarity forming within you. The fog did not vanish all at once, but it thinned with every breath of peace that settled into your body. Decisions no longer felt like traps, they felt like invitations. Your heart stopped racing ahead into fear, and instead learned to pause, to listen, to trust the gentle guidance that had been speaking to you all along. You are steadier now. You are clearer now. You are softer without being fragile, stronger without being hardened. You can feel the difference in the way your shoulders rest, in the way your voice no longer carries the tremble of hidden worry. You walk with a quiet assurance that does not need to be proven to anyone. Peace has become your compass rather than panic. Trust has become your rhythm rather than grasping. You stand in the truth that you are guided, supported, and aligned, even when the path still curves beyond your sight. Look into this inner mirror for a moment. See the before and after not as two separate selves but as one soul unfolding, shedding layers of fear and stepping into its own light. Before, you braced for disappointment. After, you prepare for goodness. Before, you searched desperately for signs. After, you recognized them with ease. Before, you felt alone in your striving. After, you feel accompanied in your becoming. This is the real transformation, not only what arrives in your life, but who you become while receiving it. And as this truth settles into you, it continues to shape the way you move, choose, breathe, and hope. You are not who you were when this journey began. You have grown into someone who can hold the blessing with open hands and a peaceful heart, ready for what unfolds next. My beloved child, as you stand here in this moment, let your heart open just a little wider, for a blessing is being spoken over your life with the full gentleness of heaven. You have walked through seasons where you felt alone, carrying burdens that were never meant to rest solely on your shoulders. You have faced long nights of uncertainty, wondering if anyone saw the quiet strength it took for you to keep going. Hear me now with your whole spirit. You were never unseen, never unprotected, never wandering without guidance. I have walked beside you in every shadowed place, guarding the path your eyes could not yet recognize. Where you believed you were walking alone, you were actually walking supported, held by a presence that refused to let you fall. Now breathe softly, and feel the warmth gathering around you, like a mantle settling across your shoulders. This is the blessing of restoration beginning to weave itself through your life. I bless your steps with clarity, that confusion may loosen its hold and make room for direction that feels steady and sure. I bless your mind with peace, that the thoughts which once spiraled into fear now soften into trust. I bless your breath with ease, that the weight you carried so long may lift gently, without force, without resistance. I bless your hands with readiness, that they may receive the opportunities aligned for you with grace rather than grasping. And most of all, I bless your heart with the knowing that abundance unfolds not through striving but through alignment, not through panic but through peace. You are not walking into the next chapter alone. The path before you glows with guidance even if you can only see a few steps at a time. Trust the subtle signs, the inner nudges, the soft expansions of peace that rise when something is meant for you. Trust that what is aligned will not pass you by, for the divine has already prepared what fits your spirit, your timing, your growth. The days ahead will reveal threads of support you didn't realize were being woven on your behalf. You will notice conversations that arrive at perfect moments, opportunities that feel like home, and quiet confirmations that mirror the prayers you thought no one heard. Do not rush. Do not fear. What is unfolding for you is not fragile. It is guided. As this blessing settles into you, let yourself imagine walking forward with the calm assurance of someone accompanied, someone protected, someone deeply loved. Feel the contrast between the old way of moving, tense, uncertain, bracing for disappointment, and the new way rising within you now, soft, steady, grounded in trust. You no longer need to shoulder everything alone. You no longer need to guess your way through the dark. You are being led with tenderness, step by step, toward a life that reflects the worth you have always carried. And now, my dear one, as you prepare to continue your journey, I extend a gentle invitation. If these words have met you with comfort or clarity, if you feel the warmth of this blessing resting over you, consider joining the prayer circle and community gathered around this space. Share your heart if you feel called. Leave a blessing for someone else who may be searching for peace. Add your light to a place where many gather to lift one another through faith, intention, and quiet hope. You are welcome there. You are welcome here. You are part of something unfolding with grace. Go forward now with peace in your breath and strength in your steps. You are guided. You are supported. And you are never alone.